find a boundary. Right. Eddie was talking about the importance of boundaries and he gave examples of it. Now I'll say when you're on the street, you want to proactively find a boundary, make the boundary happen so you can then draw it. Now if the girl just gives you a natural chance to draw a boundary, great, take it. That's normally you disagree with something, right? That's normally the normal advice we have in the attraction phase of the street stop is teasing and challenging, right? You either tease the girl or you challenge her. Both have the same impact of showing that you have boundaries, that you stand up for yourself, that you're not an ass kisser, right? Now, partly that is waiting for the opportunity. The girl says something, you genuinely disagree with it, so you genuinely disagree with it. And if you're going for smoothness, you'll tend to do a non-combative disagreement. You'll be there, really? Why? And then, you give her, the skeptical parroting, right? You repeat it back to her in a skeptical tone of voice. Or you vacuum a bit, you really? Why, right? It's non-combative, but it's a challenge. And that shows the boundary, shows masculine polarity, and, she'll justify herself, right? That's one form. Whereas the belligerence tends to be more offensive, both offensive in the sense of offense-defense and offensive as in, like, being rude. When you're carrying in belligerent energy, you're giving yourself the permission to be more playfully rude, and she gets that it's all a bit tongue-in-cheek and you don't really mean it. So belligerence tends to be more teasing than challenging. Smoothness tends to be more challenging than teasing. But again, I don't want to overdraw the differences. You do both. But the takeaway here is you proactively create that opportunity. Don't wait for it to give you something. Find an opportunity. And let's say she's not giving you anything, it's going too smooth. You can look at her and you can pick something that she's wearing or carrying or dressing. You say what's going on here? That's a bit fucking weird, isn't it? Right? You've just created that opportunity. Now, a lot of the London way of opening, we often build the teasers into the opener itself. You'll all be familiar with that in the base. You observe 3 things about it, 2 of them complementary, 1 a tease. You can build it in that way as well. Okay, next one. Right. I'll not do too much on this. Right, even the flashiest and most belligerent sets still require you to tone it down, make it comfortable. Right, don't get addicted to frying their brains. So what I normally do is I'll if I'm doing it the belligerent style, I'll smash them with stuff, I'll spike them up, I'll get them giggling and being a bit off balance, and then at some point something will happen, something will come through on her eyes or her body language, or she'll say something, and I immediately just think, right, she fancies me. There'll just be that moment where I tick the checkbox of she fancies me. Often it's a little bit of eye mesmer. There's a little flash goes through her eyes, or there's a little awkward pause, or she shifts a bit uncomfortably, sexually. There'll be, in her body language, there'll be something, and the better calibrated you get, the better you're at spotting this. But you'll just think, right, she fancies me. Okay, attraction's done. Right? You don't have to keep flogging the dead horse, So that's normally when I'll tone it down. So it's a little bit like when you have hook point, right? The girl asks you the question, you're like, right, I've got hook point, I can dial my energy down. Now, ticking off she's attracted to me is not quite the same, right? Hook point just means she wants to talk to you. But normally it's in the eyes. Normally it's in the eyes. You'll just feel some little crackle of sexual tension, some little interplay thing, right, she fancies me. So then that's normally when I tone down the belligerence, be a lot more normal, in any future instances of belligerence or spiking, or just the little spikes you put in every now and then to stop yourself crashing into comfort. Okay, I don't want to talk too much about this stage of the set, about sucking her in, drawing her in, because I think it's stuff that's already well covered. The only thing I want to get at is investment, the investment phase where you're making her open up and talk about stuff. It's not prattle, right? You're not letting her prattle. The purpose of investment isn't just to get her talking. She's actually got to be talking in a direction where you're still leading the conversation. Because you can get a lot of false investment where the girl's just banging on about stuff. And North American women particularly, it's just in their culture to really just prattle on. And that's not good prattle because you're losing the frame, right? It's easy to think, oh, well, she's talking, therefore she's investing. No, she's just prattling on and taking the frame away, right? And that's...
Can you give like a particular example of what would be the style of prowling? I never seen that bird before, so
I mean, you don't get it as much in London just because the girls are usually more European here and they tend not to prattle as much. But I mean, it's a uniquely North American, well, I don't know about uniquely North American, but it's a very North American thing, is people are very outgoingly chatty about nonsense, right? It's just how they are. Yeah, and girls will be like that. So if you're used to like trying to pry open a Russian girl, and then your next set's a Canadian who just fucking starts banging on about how she's going to buy some shoes because she saw in this shop they're only like $3.99 because there's like a sale on, and she read in the newspaper that there's like a discount coupon that she's got, so she might go there, but I don't know, she's got to go and have a milkshake with her friends later on. And you're like, what? Right? That's not the investment you want, right? So when that happens, you have to snatch the reins back, right? Because this is masculine. We're talking about masculine polarity, right? We're like talking about being a man, and men always have a purpose, right? Men always have a direction, whether it's like at a grand level in their life having a mission, or whether it's at this moment I'm walking in this direction because I got to go to that shop to buy that thing that I've already decided to do, right? A man always has a direction, and your conversations have a direction. Now, if you watch my sets, I mean, I'm particularly overt about this. Some of the other guys speaking do the same thing more covertly, more subtly. But like when I'm talking to a girl, it's the Nick show, right? It's like this conversation is going where I want it to go, and I'm often interrupting the girl and talking over her and stuff like that. Now, that's my particular style. I'm particularly belligerent and open about it. It's not the only way to do it. But if the conversation's going in a direction that's not leading you towards fucking her, grab the reins and move it in the direction that's taking you towards fucking it, you know? So think of it like she's auditioning for you. Anyway, you're getting her to talk about herself, but she's talking about herself in the same way that interviewers get you to talk about yourself, you know? Now, it's not as obvious. You don't say to her, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Right? Like, but you know, you're asking her where she's from and finding out the things about her. You find out what she does, and but the whole time it's with the idea of like you're sizing her up. Like, is she like right for you? Is she impressing you? And so show that. Now this is all like the soft dominant side, you know, like you're showing that you're receptive to interests and concerns. Doesn't mean you agree with them, but you just accept them as a valid position. Okay, yeah, I see that. Right, doesn't mean you agree, you're not a pushover, but you're allowing her to display the side. But anyway, like this talk's not about how you do that, right? That's already covered. The main thing I'm trying to get here is keep the direction, but resist the urge to keep smashing her, right? Right, at some point you've got to turn that belligerence off. Right, next slide, please.
Well, I'm a traveling man and I fuck all I can. Well, I'm a traveling man and I fuck all I can. I hit the streets and walk till a girl comes into sight. I'm not a boyfriend of choice, but I seduce with my voice. I'm not a boyfriend of choice, but I seduce with my voice. I mess with her head till she lands in my bed. Well, she's younger and tighter, she's a bit of a fighter. Well, she's younger and tighter, she's a bit of a fighter. She resists and folds, she gets adventurous sex.